What is going on, guys? Welcome to the Platinum Podcast, where we talk about all things gaming, all things PlayStation, and all things trophies. I'm your host, Lewis, also known as PlatinumBro. I am joined by my glorious, handsome, as ever co-host, Joel, also known as GuyFarruski. How are you doing today, Joel?
Well, I'm doing good now with that introduction. Thank you.
I like to flatter, what can I say? I'm also joined by the one and only Josh from the Platinum Trophy. How are you doing, Josh?
I am doing not too bad. I just thought I'd mention just before we start. My check hasn't cleared yet for the spot on the podcast.
Oh,
was that
we give them afterwards? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll just wait, I suppose. Then.
Yeah, but just bear in mind the conversion from UK pounds to Australian is less. So I'm
hoping it's significant. Australian dollars are not worth a huge amount, so I'm hoping that this will be my retirement fund.
It might be around 19. I'm not sure where the zeros will land on that.
We'll see. I guess I'll just wait for that to pop into my account. I'll just keep in touch with your people and we'll just sort of work through that.
Yeah, I often tell people to send my financial issues to Joel, and then
right,
he sorts them out. I think he sorts them out physically, not necessarily to do with the money.
Right.
He's a beast. He's uncaged, unhinged.
Well, I guess we'll just catch up after the show then, Joel, and we'll sort it out.
Yeah. I'm free on like the 10th of February.
That's my birthday. So anyway, so Josh is a fellow YouTuber, a fellow PlayStation YouTuber, a YouTuber who also talks a little bit about trophies, about games in general. How would you introduce your channel to the uninitiated, Josh?
I mean, I've been known to, I suppose. I don't know. What do we do over there? We talk about PlayStation. We talk about games. We talk about trophies. We used to talk a lot more about trophies than we do now. It's a lot. Considering the channel name is the Platinum Trophy, we don't talk about the Platinum Trophy quite as much as I would like to. But yeah, I just call it a one-stop PlayStation shop.
You do have a Platinum Trophy in your top right of your shelf, though, which I imagine many people are jealous about.
Yes.
Yeah, that's glitched. I unlocked that a while back. It just hasn't cleared off the screen yet. I don't know why. It's just sort of glitched up there. I don't even know what it's for. It doesn't even have the text or anything. I don't know what's going on there.
Who knows? I don't know. Joel, any ideas?
I'm not sure either.
It must be that level of that god tier level like on my side where I see it, it's popped like on the wrong side as well. Like it doesn't pop on the left. It's like it's popped on the right side. So
right.
It must mean it's special.
I've heard when you play hundreds and hundreds of 10-minute platinums, eventually that pops.
That's where your inspiration comes from. That's what you're aiming for, isn't it, Lewis?
The wrong side of PlayStation Trophy pop. I've heard it's a rumor, not to be confirmed.
Once you get over a certain number of platinum trophies, I think everything just goes to hell. Your entire account gets deleted. Your PlayStation explodes. Mark Cerny comes to your house and cooks you a full pasta dinner. It's really, it's crazy.
Things get weird. Things do get weird. I've heard.
Yeah,
that's why no one talks about it. It's like an elusive club. But,
that's exactly right.
Yeah. So on that, your channel started out, you're doing a lot more trophy stuff, Josh. What would you say? How would you describe your trophy hunting experiences? Like, when you play a game, how do you look at your trophies? Do you collect them? Do you not bother about them anymore?
I think I used to be a lot more of a trophy hunter than I am in 2021. So I've been trophy hunting since it started on the PlayStation 3. I think I probably started in 2009. My first platinum was Assassin's Creed 2, which is a question I get asked on my YouTube channel maybe 5 times a day. So there you go, guys. Now. Assassin's Creed 2. So I started way back when. I probably fell off a little bit in more recent years and have collected a lot less platinums than over the last 12 months. I think in 2020, we saw a real uprising of, what's the politest way to say what some of these platinum trophies are? I don't know. Did you guys have a way of referring to them?
Disgusting.
I call them grubby games.
Grubby, disgusting.
Yeah.
Cash grab, easy platinums. And look, if you want to go for those, that's all good. That's fine. By all means, that's always been my stance.
Why?
I'm now, I feel like they've kind of just ruined it for me. And it wasn't because I wasn't necessarily getting them. It was just because they inherently existed. You're seeing these games come out each week with, 6, stacks and things like that, and it just sort of devalued it a little bit for me, and I decided to take a step back. A game came out at the very end of last year, which was like the pivotal moment for me, and it was Snake Boat. Do you guys remember Snake Boat?
I played it twice. I should remember it.
Wow. Okay, so I don't own it. I didn't buy it.
Sorry, one sec. Go on, keep going. Sorry.
So I don't own it. I never played it, never bought it. But the game came out. Trophy hunters were going insane about it. I mean, I'm sure that you spruiked it on your channel. I made a call when that game came out. I was like, look, I think it's time. I think it's time to hang up my trophy hunting gloves and sort of go into some sort of semi-retirement from trophy hunting and just walk away gracefully. It just felt wrong.
We're pros on this podcast, Josh. We're pros to interruptions, all right?
I trust it.
As I said, Joel always takes his t-shirt off about 45 minutes in. I've always got to cut it out.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
He gets
I'm looking forward to that, by the way.
He starts like throwing fists, and we're going to just cut it out every time.
Right.
Every time.
Yeah, so, understood.
But we're pros at improvising and moving on swiftly on. Now we'll just reverse back to the conversation we're having. And Josh, that's fair. I think there is a lot of the Platinum Trophy. I think people often say is it's been devalued. A lot of people, because there's so many games, people can make a game on a weekend and release it now, and it's an easy game. And then you get people who just love the Platinums, who just keep buying them. It's a serious problem. Joel's not a big fan either.
No. Easy play. I used to. It depends. Like it depends on like how close I am to the next person above me. Like if I've got like, let's say 80 platinums and they've got like 82, I may play like 3 easy games just to get above. But then I'll shower vigorously.
Yeah, that's very important.
That disgusting.
I find that bleach is the most effective way to clean your body properly, to really purify the soul.
If anybody is a pro in cleaning off the grogginess, I think it's definitely Lewis.
It is.
Sounds like he knows a thing or two about grubby platinums.
I do.
But look, I think they played a good thing as a palate cleanse, but it became too much, and I think they became too much. And I felt like, what kind of if that's how I felt about them, then what kind of a role model would I be if I was still advocating for them when I have a platform to do so? So I thought, you know what, let's put a foot in the ground and make a decision and stick to it, and that's what I've done. I thought we agreed that we were both doing that. Wasn't that part of what you? You said that.
I'm just weak, Josh. Weak. I'm not strong enough. I'm not as strong as you. I just succumb back to the darkness.
I understand. I understand.
It's the rankings.
It's the rankings. I'm addicted to the ranks.
That's yeah.
I don't see the point of this. I have this discussion with myself all the time. I'm like, if I get to the top 100, which I would love to do, I'll then have to keep playing those games. So I think if I get the top 100, I will just go, okay, I've done it. Farewell, my friend, and then just slowly decline again.
Will you though?
I don't know.
I think
I don't think you will.
No, you'll never stop.
Who knows? I literally speak to somebody as well who was in the top 10 and top 2 or 3, and he was saying like, how it does just sort of ruin your gaming experience because you feel pressure to always play these terrible games, and you're buying all these stacks from like Japan and different like other regions, and you're like playing the same games you don't enjoy over and over again, and it's kind of like, well, is this what you want to be doing with your free time? Because it's not a job. You're never going to make money from it. It's like the job. He described it as like the job that you have to pay to do. Like, damn, that's dark.
I mean, have you seen Hakoom? He's so tired, man. He's so tired.
Oh, God, but he doesn't even play all the games.
I really, Hakoom, if you're listening to this, just have a wee sleep, man. You just need to sleep. That's all.
Have a quick.
He can't sleep. Easy games. I need to be on top. I cannot sleep.
He's just got to sleep, man. He needs some sleep.
When he shared his PlayStation hours of like, how you got the PlayStation wrap ups. Yeah, he averaged 16 hours a day on his PlayStation. That's
just. I'm not even awake for 16 hours of a day, exactly. So that's.
Yeah. No, that's a lot. That's a lot of game. It's a lot of game.
Yeah.
So on still while we're on trophies, is there anything you can think of? Have you ever done anything disgustingly crazy for boosting? Have you ever boosted a trophy or something yourself that you feel a bit ashamed to say now?
Oh, 100%. Of course I did, but not probably on the PlayStation 4. Back on the PlayStation 3, before. Before PlayStation 4, I spent a lot of time on the PS3 boosting. I got really into trophy hunting back then because I did trophy hunting because of completionist. So I was obsessed with completing games. The one that I talk about often for me is BioShock 2, which was a low point, I feel, because the game was quite good. It had a multiplayer mode, which was actually quite good as well. But there was this turret hack thing that you could do where basically you go into a map and then you have these two guys on each side. One hacks a turret, it becomes theirs. The other person hacks the turret, it becomes theirs, and it just goes back and forth hacking these turrets for like a 10-minute match of a PvP game. And it's just, when you look at, like, in hindsight, you've got this map filled with 12 players, each of them in pairs, just in somewhere on the map hacking these turrets. It's like, what are we doing? No. What is this?
Yeah, what are we doing with ourselves?
All right, it's like, what is this? What are we doing here?
It's like sometimes you get this moment on you and you just think like it just hits you and you're just thinking, what the actual F am I doing? Like, what am I doing right now?
You carry on doing it.
Oh yeah, you've got to keep doing it. You got to finish it. I mean, you've invested 25 hours at this point. You got to finish the job. I think that's the one that like comes to mind the most. Otherwise, there's been occasions. Resistance 2 was another big one. You had to there was a thing called Killing Machine. I think it was 10,000 PvP kills in that game, and that was bad. That was a bad one. I think I had 6 PS3s, or it might have been 8 PS3s set up in the living room.
Wow!
Just to self boost, and just like they were all in a row. All of them were like lined up with their names and their controllers and everything. And I had my main account, and I was going through and just executing my other characters 1,000 times before the servers shut down. It was bad. It was really bad. By the way, I've got 8 PS3s. If anyone wants to buy one, just let me know in the comment section down below. I know they're going to be very valuable soon, so just hit me up.
Yeah, let me know. What about you, Joe? Have you done anything? I don't think I've ever asked you this. Have you ever done anything?
I think maybe in the PS3 era as well. I think with Tomb Raider, which even more shamefully enough, I didn't actually platinum the game, so all that effort was for nothing. I was just
why?
I went to the lowest of the low, and like every single person I played an online match with, I would message them and be like, "You want a boost?" Like the sadness, and like out of like every like 20 messages, I'd get like one reply, maybe, "Oh yeah, okay." And it was just like me and this dude in like this private lobby, and we just like kill each other because you had like different kills. You have to like kill someone with an explosion like 50 times or like headshot 100 times, and we we're just like killing each other 50 times. But then I got to the point where I was like, enough. Like even my wife, she came home at the time, she was just looking at the screen. She's like, "What are you doing?" She doesn't game.
She knew what you were doing.
She was like, "What are you doing?"
And she thought it was weird.
Have either of you watched a TV show called Peep Show?
No.
I don't know if that's a TV show.
It's definitely a TV show, and it's an English.
I think that's on something
comical,
else.
English comical genius, Josh. I know I was just from Australia, so he probably hasn't watched it. But
we don't have television here yet.
No, exactly. No, just watch kangaroos run around the field.
Pretty much, and just avoiding snakes all the time.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, anyway, the point is, there's one episode where the main character called Mark, he gets like convinced because he likes this girl, and he gets convinced to go to a fantasy reenactment cosplay battle. And by the way, this TV show is just about two guys who have normal office jobs and they're a little bit unhinged. And he's like standing there, and he's got the sword in his hand. And he's watching someone like hitting someone else, and then they're going like, "Oh, revive me! No, I had a shield." And he just looks at himself and goes like, "What the actual F am I doing here? I've got a full-time job. I've got a kid. What am I doing here in the middle of some field with a sword?" And I think that's like the moment you get when you're playing like a really horrible trophy, and you just think, "What? Why am I doing this? Why?"
Now, the real question here is, for you, Lewis, is how many times have you reached this?
Quite a few times. This is a feeling that is known to me quite a lot.
I only had to say it because, like, the whole time you were saying this, and it's like I'm thinking of like the games you've played, like Resident Evil 6. You got Marvel's Avengers.
I've got a good one here actually. There's a VR game called Firewall Zero Hour? Have you played it, Josh?
Yeah,
it's like a first-person shooter. It's a really good Call of Duty. Like, it's probably the best VR shooter. It's fantastic. But there's a trophy which involves you having to kill somebody with a handgun, and they're about, say, 25 meters away. And the problem with that is the maps are so close. There's only like 2 parts in the whole game you can do it. So what we did was, it's 4v4. I found a boosting group with 7 people, 6 other people, so 7 of us. So we joined a team, so it was like 4v3. But there's one other person in it, so we would like, the person would be like, "Oh, there's one person, we need to find him." So they would follow him around so someone else could turn around the corner and down them, right? Ruining this person's gaming experience. Then we would take turns taking pot shots at each other at the end of this hallway. And it was like, honestly, it is one of my.
And he's watching on the kill cam as well, right? He's sitting there just fuming. He's like, "What are these guys? Why is it not restarting the next match? This has been going for too long."
It'd be like 4 of us, literally this long. It was like it was actually like a courtyard, and it was like just 4 of us on one side, 3 of us on the other one, just shooting each other with pistols. And I just remember thinking like that was for me. I remember when I got that trophy, I was like, what am I doing? It took like
after you got the trophy, you're like, what am I doing? I'm just gonna leave now.
I was like, ah.
I was like, what am I doing? 3 of us have got the trophy, 4 of us haven't. This isn't for me. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was a dark time.
You're that guy.
But anyway, what we'll do, we'll move on from our trophy talk, and we'll talk about the structure of the podcast is definitely a free-for-all. We're going to talk about the games we've been playing, and then we're going to do a get-to-know-you quiz where we're going to quiz Josh, just like we did with Platchums, but we're going to do it a little bit more efficiently, a little bit faster. But before we do that, we'd like to talk about the games we've been playing, Josh. So, is there any games you've been playing over the past couple of weeks that you would like to share with our viewers and us?
Oh, we had homework for this? I didn't know.
You have to
play
we had games, Josh.
Honestly, I haven't been playing a ton of stuff. I started the Joseph Fares co-op, not A Way Out, the new one.
Yes,
It
Takes Two or something.
It Takes Two.
It Takes Two. I started that game with one of my buddies. We played about 5 hours of that. Thoroughly enjoying it. A lot of fun. It's not as good as A Way Out, in my opinion, yet, but I haven't finished it, and very much enjoying that with my friends. So that's good. The fantastic part about that game is that only one person needs to own it. If you own it or your buddy owns it, you get to play it for free with your friend, and that's amazing. That's
very,
and that's from EA as well, right? That's EA. That doesn't happen very often. So they've done well there. Credit where it's due, right?
It's a small publisher within EA, isn't it? Because I think A Way Out is such a fantastic game. I love that game. I wasn't expecting it to be anything like it was. Top quality to EA, definitely.
Yeah, it's like, I think they have like an originals line, very similar to what Ubisoft do with those originals, and it's kind of this indie branch that's separate to EA but still owned by them as a holdings company. I'm getting into the boring stuff. No one wants to hear about this, but it's a good game. A lot of fun. Joseph Fares is a good guy. He's done some funny stuff. I highly recommend it. Otherwise, I've just been playing Dead by Daylight, which is
still
just unfortunately just an addiction at this point, well and truly, and Hunt Showdown, which is also another addiction. Those are the two.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
Is that the battle royale? First-person battle royale.
It's kind of a battle royale. It's like a mixture of a battle royale and a PvE. The objective is to kill a NPC. So you're in this open world hunting this NPC, but it's also everyone else's objective as well. Then you have to extract, so the players try and kill you. So it's like a PvE PvP. It does some really cool stuff. It's mixing a bunch of genres together. It's incredible. It's good. So I've been sort of mixing those two up.
By incredible, you just mean you're so addicted at this point that you just want more people to be addicted with you.
I don't know if, sort of. I think it's a little bit overpriced, I would say. It doesn't tend to come down, discounted as much as I think it should, considering it's been on PC, I think, for a few years now. But it's good. Like, if you're wanting something that's a multiplayer, I don't know, your audience is mostly trophy hunters. Stay away from both of these games if you're a trophy hunter. They're both ridiculously time consuming and challenging. But if you're wanting a game just to play, for sure, right? If you're wanting something good to play, maybe with some buddies or just to unwind, then they're both fantastic games to check out.
Okay. I think games that innovate should always be given plenty of credit, because like that game just sounds, they've taken a lot of core things that are already established in games, but the PvP, PvE stuff it's different, and I think we should always, if it's good and you like it a lot, I think we should give it credit where it's due, because I'm interested. Probably won't play it because I'm scared of hard trophies, but Joel might.
Me and Joel will play it. It's all right.
I'll definitely play It Takes Two. I'm really interested in that game. It looks really, really good. And I'll just have to wait a couple of years, and I'm sure EA will just remaster it with a bit more lighting as well, and A Way Out.
Possible.
As well,
It's definitely possible.
True. What about yourself, Joel?
Twice.
Have you played anything this week?
Take a guess.
Devil May Cry 5.
Yes. Yeah.
Someone commented on my video. I just want to put this in there. Someone commented on my video today saying, like, on my video saying, "What's going on with GuyFarruski? He hasn't earned a trophy since your last video that you did where you reviewed his list." Like, is he okay? Is he alive?
Wow. Well,
you got to stalkers, my friend.
Well, let me explain. Devil May Cry 5 is one of the hardest games I have ever attempted the platinum on. When I get the platinum, not if, when I get the platinum, if I am not in like a mental institution yet, I'll may go back to like regular trophy hunting. I think that this game is going to break me. I'm like halfway through like the S ranks. I'm only on mission 10. And that footage of Devil May Cry 5 on my last video, that's genuine footage of me just raging at that game.
Oh, is it? I thought you'd used like old footage.
No, Dante is such a nightmare to get used to. And I feel like he has like the worst demon spawns out of all three characters. Like they just put the hardest demons in Dante's missions, and he's the one that you have to like do a load of combos with. It's disgusting.
Are you familiar with Devil May Cry 5 and its trophy list, Josh?
I am not familiar with its trophy list. I'm very familiar with the game, but I'm not familiar with the trophy list at all.
So you got to finish the game on every difficulty, and then you get a trophy. The difficulty trophies don't stack, and the hardest trophy is the hardest difficulty is one hit and you're dead, and the enemies have like the second hardest difficulty. Am I right, Joe? And they can devil trigger as well.
No, so I think there's two trophies that go hand in hand in difficulty, which is S ranking every mission on every difficulty, and that goes hand in hand with finishing the game on the hardest difficulty. Well, it's not really the hardest difficulty. It's the hardest difficulty because you can't get hit, or else you're locked out of the S rank. But in terms of enemies, it's not the hardest. The hardest difficulty in terms of enemies is the 5th difficulty. They can get double trigger.
7 difficulties, isn't there?
7 altogether, yeah.
Wow.
I played the the Devil May Cry games, the first 3, 4 of them, plus the remake. I think I went for the platinum on the first one. I remember it having a bunch of different difficulty things. Dante Must Die and the different Sparta modes and things. I remember it was very challenging.
Yes. Yeah. Understatement, I think. For Devil May Cry 5, anyway, breaking.
I just feel depressed all the time.
It's okay, my friend. You know what? That's actually really funny because I'm going to just segue that depression, clinical depression, into my games I've been playing. I know. The only game I want to talk about is Remnant from the Ashes, which I think is an absolutely phenomenal game. I have to say, it's blown me away. Like, I generally think it's one of the most fun I've had playing a game in such a long time. I can't get over how good it is. And but one of the trophies is for doing the survival mode. So the survival mode, for those who don't know, is you have to basically clear an area, and then at the end of the area you have to face a boss, and you have to do 10 of those in a row, and you don't have any of your upgrades or anything like that, and you get opportunities to find upgrades as you go. So and then as you progress, the bosses become harder because they level up as you level up, and it comes to the point where like the last like 8 to 10 bosses are like on like nightmare difficulty, I think. So it's pretty difficult, and it's taking like an hour and a half to do a run. So it can be like soul destroyingly hard, but I finally did it. I did the 10 waves, and it was like next level. I was literally like, my dog Dexter was sitting down next to us, and I remember just like screaming, and he was looking at us thinking, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "We've done it, lad. We've bloody done it." So yeah, definitely worth the play though.
How many hours did you spend just on this trophy alone?
35.
35 hours.
Wow, that's a lot.
Whilst you were doing this, did it ever cross your mind thinking, I could have earned at least 35 platinums?
No, because you know what? The game it's so good. I was annoyed. I was thinking, playing like this game it's hard. It's by the way, Joe, I'm going to go out and say it on this podcast, it's harder than Bloodborne. I think definitely that survival mode is so hard, because on Bloodborne you can learn a boss's attack patterns, and then you might spend an hour on a boss and you do it. Whereas there's 25 bosses, and you have to learn the attack patterns of every boss. And at the higher difficulties, they have more attack patterns and they're more aggressive. So it's like it's kind of realistically impossible to learn the attack patterns of all 25 bosses that you could get, because they're all random. So on that's what makes it so difficult. But every time I died, I was like, this is so annoying, but this game is so good. I'm going to play it again. I've never really... with Bloodborne I felt the same, but not many games I've played where I thought, like, I'm stuck, but I'm still having one hell of a great time.
You know, I'm proud of you, Lewis. I really am. I think...
great job. You should have the Platinum Trophy wherever the heck it is on my screen.
I think there's still hope for you.
Yeah, I know.
And I think my work here is done. I think I've weaned you a little bit off the easy and a bit into the hard. So with that, thank you for this opportunity of the podcast, and I'll Yeah.
Joel's gonna retire.
He's done.
He's done his job.
It's over.
But no, it's done.
I mean, that being said,
Converted easy platinum
exactly.
trophy hunters.
I wouldn't go that far. Like, I was like, okay, I'm on 430 platinums. I want this to be my 50th platinum, so I'm gonna have to play 19 easy games to get up to that point. So I don't know if it's truly gone, if it ever will. But yeah, that's the games we've been playing anyway. That's the only game I want.
Well done, dude. That sounds like hell.
Oh,
there he is, Dexter.
Right, mate.
But
I'll definitely help to play survival mode if you're going to play it, Joel. It's phenomenal.
Oh yeah, I'll play it. I'll play it.
Soul destroyingly hard.
Wait, is survival mode DLC?
Yes, so you don't need you don't need it for the platinum.
I
Joel's not doing DLC.
I don't.
So the platinum's actually really easy. The platinum is not easy. It's like a 5 out of 10. It's about 30 hours, but the DLC is just disgustingly hard.
Look at you, Lewis. Look at you. I'm so proud of you. Like the platinum is easy.
Just drop this.
Soulsborne. What is Soulsborne now?
What is that?
Isn't it a great game though? Can I just say?
Yeah.
Isn't it a superb game? Melding that sort of third-person shooter combat with the Souls-like combat and stuff, right? It's very unique.
It's got like these mods as well, so like you can change the way you play based, and there's like 30 mods, and they involve like spawning minions, getting boosts, health boosts, making shields, creating turrets. I think and then there's like all these really, really powerful trinkets and amulets that change the way you play again, and you can really like build the way you want to play. I mean, you've got to know a little bit about the game, and I think playing survival mode makes you really understand how the game mechanics work, but it's really an in-depth game with some amazing shooting. Yeah, Josh, I think it may be a 10 out of 10 for me. It may be.
Is that as a mid-tier game, I think that's what makes it most impressive. It's not a triple. It's very much a AA mid-tier style game. It's not one of these AAA games with the budget that a AAA game would have had, and for it to kind of carve out something that is quite unique, taking your Souls genre, which it has been done a number of times now, and being able to sort of do something unique with that and different with it. I think it's quite impressive. Yeah.
I have to agree with it, because there are a lot of games that try and apply the Souls like formula, but there's not many that get it right.
No, I agree.
There are a lot of failed because they just think, oh, let's make this game hard. Yeah. But they don't make it fair. They just make it hard. And you have to have that hard hand in hand with the fairness. You have to, if you die in one of those games, it's your fault. If it's not your fault and it's the game's fault, then it's not a good game. It's not a good hard game.
I will go as far to say as well with Remnant, what makes it so good is it has like it's kind of has like light roguelite elements, shall I say, because it's like you go into a world and there's potentially 8 bosses you can face, 6 bosses you can face in this world, but you'll only face 3 and it's random every time. So it's like there's loads of replay value, and it's like if you kill bosses in certain ways, you get different mods, you get different traits, how you kill them. It's really what they've done with it. It's just so clever. It's just got replayability value is phenomenal. In my opinion, it is just it's sublime.
Can't wait.
Great game. I'll definitely play it. It's like it's not very often I play a game where I think like that was so hard and I'm going to keep playing it. And like if you, I'll happily without a second hesitation jump in to help you clear out the game, because it's so fun. And I'm like OP as anything now. I'm like an absolute god now. I just walk around with my assault rifle, my machine gun, my 2 turrets, my 2 dog, my dog. I'm just like wrecking. So there's also that as well. And as well, the bosses are so hard to start with. They're so difficult. And now I know every boss's attack patterns. Like I can probably kill most of them without getting hit. Not because they're easy, just because I've played them all like tens of times, and I've built my character up to the point where I've got my build is based around surviving and stuff, and I've got all these cool little mods and stuff. And if you haven't played the game, you won't understand. So I'm not going into too much details. But again, it's just that whole creativity behind the game is just bravo.
How you have grown.
I know. Okay, let's move on to our next segment of the podcast, which is our get to know Josh. So what's Josh? This is how it's going to work. All right, we're going to fire some questions fast. So how it's going to work is I'm going to actually, Joel, if you can set a timer, please, for 5 minutes. I will ask you some questions over 5 minutes. There's about 50 of them. We'll get through as many as we can. And you just say the answer. Some of them have answers, some of them don't. Some of them will make you stop. Some of them might be like, do you like tomatoes? And some of them might be like, which is your favorite? Please name your favorite 2 Final Fantasy games. So we'll see how it goes.
Sure. Are you gonna respond to the answers? Are we discussing them?
No, we're not going to discuss them. We're going to rapid fire through them. We'll discuss a few at the end if we want to. We'll just see how it goes, Josh. The plan is to just keep firing them, and you answer, I'll move on to the next one. Unless something's so controversial or so funny, we'll have to say something. We'll just say
the last quick fire lasted like
45
half an hour.
That's why
it wasn't really a quick fire anymore.
No.
It
was more just a podcast.
Yeah. That's why we put a timer in though, Josh. We're evolving, we're learning. Without the timer, it was good. 45 minutes.
Not just going to do the same thing again, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, on that,
are we ready?
Let's go. Let's go.
Boom.
PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4?
PlayStation 4.
Nintendo Switch or GameCube?
Nintendo Switch.
Pokemon or Digimon?
Digimon.
Favorite game series?
Do you want to talk? I feel like you want to ask a question there. You're like, favorite game series? Crash Bandicoot.
Favorite superhero? Always thinking.
Goku.
Okay, I'll let you have that.
All Might.
Okay. Pizza or burger? The ultimate question.
Neither.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Why not?
I can't. I don't eat those kind of foods. They're not good for you.
God damn. Do you not have like cheat
They're
days?
terrible for you.
So like, do you not have like a little cheeky cheat day where you just like have like 12 donuts and then pass out on the couch?
Definitely not. Never. I don't think that's ever happened.
Me neither.
Wow.
Yeah, me neither.
I used to be big, and I lost a lot of weight, so I can't go near that sort of stuff anymore. So
that is dedication to the next level.
You have to go cold turkey.
Yeah,
that is crazy.
Fair
Wow.
enough.
Well done.
That's some advice for me, my platinum trophies, I think.
Yeah. Cold turkey.
Exactly.
That's
Okay,
the way
next
to go.
question. Uncharted or The Last of Us?
Biased on this one. Let's go with Uncharted.
Tobey Maguire or Tom Holland?
That's a good question. I think Tom Holland.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think I'm coming around on Tom Holland. I think so.
Okay, fair. Favorite film? This is a hard one, to be fair.
Nah, this is easy. Back to the Future Part 2.
Great movie, to be fair. I'll give you that.
It is.
Devil May Cry or Resident Evil?
Resident Evil.
Josh, Joel's not happy about that one. Okay, I've lost my place. This happens.
I've
very
got
frequently.
enemies and friends depending on which one of these I answer. It's kind of like, oh.
I think most of these will split the audience. Name a game.
Yeah, I
that
understand.
Name a game that you think everyone should play at least once.
Castlevania Symphony of Night.
Yeah, no,
Well, this is kind of redundant, but pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
I'd say yes, but it's redundant.
Yeah.
He'd just have the pineapple and
Just
leave the
pineapple.
pizza.
Nothing else, right? Just the pineapple. Yeah.
Crash Bandicoot or Spyro?
Crash.
Winter or summer?
Summer. Well, it's perpetually summer
Yeah,
in
I was gonna
Australia.
say,
It
it's like-
always feels like the surface of the sun here.
Does that not make
Which
you
I'm
like?
surprised you chose summer.
Do you not
I
crave
would have
snow?
thought you would have chose winter.
We don't have snow here.
Yeah,
It doesn't snow here.
Is it not like do you not romanticize it? Like just go to bed dreaming of being able to make a snowman and snow angels.
No, it's cold as balls when it snows,
Well,
man.
yeah.
Are you kidding me? I've been to
It's chronically cold here as well. Just so you know, Joel's from
Yeah.
Portugal, so he has to struggles with the temperature. I imagine a little bit. Joel,
Right.
do you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit.
fair enough.
I have
Every time
thermals.
Every time I've ever been to the UK, it's been cold. I've never been to the UK and it's been warm. And I've been there in the summertime.
To be fair, thankfully, the only pro of global warming is the fact that it's actually getting hotter in England, and sometimes
Yeah,
it's
it
like
is.
23, 24 degrees for like a week of the year, but the rest of the time
Really?
it's like it was sunny yesterday and it was like 11 degrees, and I was wearing
We're going-
shorts. Like yeah,
We're going into winter now. Like we're going into what is it? Autumn, right?
yeah.
It's starting to get colder, and I think it's like getting down to like
Yeah.
27 or something, right? It's getting
Wow.
cold, man.
That is. I can't live in the heat. It's just crazy. Like you say, you can't handle the cold. When I go anywhere where it's hot, I can't handle it. It's just too much. I feel like I have to
Fair
be
enough.
sitting near a pool or in a pool at all times.
Yeah, it's then yeah.
Okay, favorite console of all time.
I don't know, dude. Placed.
It's hard.
Xbox 360.
Controversial. Marvel or DC?
Marvel, 100%. Never DC.
Ooh, I don't mind a bit of DC from time to time. Goku or Vegeta?
Vegeta.
Damn.
Are you kidding me? He's got one of the
I
best
like you.
redemption arcs
Oh,
out
yeah.
of any sort of pop culture. I'm talking Western films. I'm talking anime. I'm talking
Yeah.
cartoon. This guy has got something that is unrivaled in like Hollywood films.
He also has the best moves.
I mean, yeah, he also has the best theme song.
And the time is over.
Oh.
Yeah, I wanted to extend that so we finish on a massive high. I like you, Josh.
Okay, I want to ask one more
Thank
question,
you,
Josh.
thank you.
One more question.
No, absolutely
okay,
not.
fine. No, I
The
won't. I
time is
won't. No,
up.
you're right. I won't.
Yeah.
I won't.
5 minutes is over.
I won't do that.
We finished on a high.
Ask. Go ahead. And ask.
No,
You can ask.
it's not. Jules, right? Joel wants. I'll let Joel end it on his high. Now,
Yes.
Joel's going to ask you some other questions. Now, last time Joel was sneaky and he threw in questions that I didn't approve. And is he going to do it again
Yes.
today? I guess we'll find out.
So wait, is this another quick fire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight in.
Okay.
This is a quicker fire because they call me the fastest tongue in the West. Okay.
Okay.
So this
okay.
is. I'm
quickest of fires, right?
I'm keeping that name.
Yeah. I'm
I mean,
gathering
that's
that.
what I was told to call you when I got the email from my agent to come on the podcast.
Yeah.
They said, make
Yeah.
sure you call him that.
That was-
Otherwise, you're going to get kicked off
At
immediately.
least 4 times in this podcast.
At least 4 times in the
Yeah,
show, right?
That's
Yeah,
in his contract. Yeah.
That's one
Yeah,
of the
I think it was, right? Yeah.
one of the requirements is definitely that. Okay.
5. Did any of you watch The US Office?
No.
Of course.
Do you know when they reveal a tree and then Dwight just starts his countdown at 30 seconds? Like, why would you start your countdown at 30 seconds? So anyway, 5, 4,
Who's got the timer?
me, 2, 1. We're going.
Favorite anime?
One Piece.
Marmite, yes or no?
Yes.
Skyrim or Fallout?
Fallout.
Christmas or birthday?
Christmas.
Name a game you would platinum again.
Crash Bandicoot 2.
You can't say Crash Bandicoot for everything, Josh.
Favorite super villain?
Joker.
Oh, great choice. Easy game or hard game?
Are you talking about platinums or just game?
Just game.
Hard game then.
Hard game. Favorite band?
It changes. Justin Timberlake.
Is he a band?
He's a
Can
one-man band.
He's a one-man band, yeah.
He can be.
This is probably going to be irrelevant. Dragon Ball Z or Naruto?
Dragon Ball Z. I've never seen Naruto. Sorry.
You should watch it. It's amazing.
Wow. You should watch it.
It's too much
Definitely
anime.
There's too much.
should. PSP or PS Vita?
Vita.
Ellie or Aloy?
Ellie. I think Ellie's a bit of character.
Favorite alcoholic drink?
Cider, actually. Probably cider.
That is nice.
Mm.
Platinum trophy you're most proud of?
Dead by Daylight?
Okay, that's impressive.
Yeah.
That's very impressive. Favorite GTA game?
Maybe San Andreas?
Sandra, great choice.
Yeah.
Star Wars or Star Trek?
Wars.
Favorite comedy TV show?
Probably The Office. Yeah, probably the US Office.
Which one? US.
Yeah, the US one.
Name a game you'd want a sequel for.
None of them.
None of
No,
them.
just one game's made. No
Wow.
more games.
None of them. No. Just cancel all the games.
Yeah, all of
In
them.
them now.
Bloodborne or Dark Souls?
Bloodborne.
Favorite game genre?
Probably mascot platformer, I think.
Persona or Final Fantasy?
Persona.
Sci-fi or fantasy?
sci-fi, maybe.
Ooh. Hard.
Yeah, I don't know.
It is a hard choice. Name a game you often revisit.
Silent Hill 2.
New Kratos, so old, majestic.
Definitely,
Kratos?
100%. Yep, new.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to finish it anyway. Or old Kratos.
No.
Okay.
Get him out. Get rid of him.
Get him out of here.
Cancel him.
Batman or Superman? This is a hard one because you don't really like DC.
Batman, I think. Yeah.
Co-op or competitive multiplayer?
Co-op. Yeah.
VR, yes or no?
VR, did you say?
VR, yeah.
Yeah, VR is good.
Yeah.
Well, it was. Yeah.
Far Cry or Assassin's Creed?
Far Cry.
Now, this is just like, I know why you gave me this one, Lewis, and I don't appreciate that. Do you have a PS5, Josh?
Yep.
Oh, good for you. It's the end of the questions.
That wasn't the question.
Well, thank you.
I'm sorry.
That's the end of the question, but I'm going to throw some in. I'm going to throw some more in.
Throw some more in. Go for it.
Favorite Dragon Ball villain?
Like from the whole series?
Yeah, whole series, movies and everything.
Vegeta's a cop-out answer. Hey, probably Frieza.
Frieza's a great choice. Now, this is going to be similar to Kratos. Do you prefer old Broly or new Broly?
Definitely new. 100% new Broly.
Oh, okay, that's the end of the question. That's all I need to know.
Well, 15 seconds left. Oh,
yeah, I told you. Fastest tongue in the West. Didn't I tell you?
Yeah.
See?
You did.
Hey.
You did say that.
Boom, 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 boom.
Okay, I'll ask my questions now. I've got one question I want to ask you. Dragon Age or Mass Effect?
Crash Bandicoot.
Fair play. It is the best game of all time. Well done, Josh. You survived our 10 minutes onslaught of questions.
So we'll be starting the podcast now?
Yeah, it's starting now. Welcome to the podcast. Yeah, well,
fantastic. I got through. I passed the test.
The vetting has been approved. I mean, you scored about 60 points out of.
It's not bad.
Which you win
out of 12 platinums. Yeah,
so that's all right. I can live with that.
This pen.
Just mail it to me with
limited
my
edition.
check.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the check.
Yes, the check.
Yeah.
Josh, is there any of those questions that you think you'd like to elaborate on more, or are you feeling a bit stunned like a rabbit in headlights?
I think you just asked me 40 or 50 questions, so I don't remember all of them. Was there anything specific that I said that you were very unhappy about, or that you felt was controversial enough that might make your audience riot against me?
Well, who knows? I mean, I think the only thing of interest there really was, well, a few of them, but I actually loved my PSP and I played my PSP more, and I thought, just going off the age that you're at, you might have played your PSP a lot more than your Vita.
I think I played so I was young when the PSP came out. I was still living at home. I was still in intermediate school, maybe even primary school, I think, potentially.
Yeah. I was about 10.
Yeah, that's about right. So I think I'm a little bit older than you. So it's about right. It means that I didn't get a lot of games for it, because I couldn't afford to buy them myself. The Vita came out when I was at university, and that was perfect time for me to buy games for myself.
Why? He never barks. As you were saying, he's seen someone in his garden.
No.
Anyway, what are you saying, Josh?
I'm so sorry, Dexter. Please.
You're offended.
Please.
He doesn't have that name for no reason,
So at university, I was able to purchase all the games because I had more purchasing power. Yeah. So I could buy whatever I wanted. It was a trophy hand machine on the go. There was a commute from the house to university. It was good. So I think I spent a lot more time with it, probably for those reasons. It was also like a time in my life where I traveled overseas. I left New Zealand where I grew up, moved to Australia, and it was the only console I had for a really long time because it was
handheld.
This 5 to 6 month transition of moving all my things from A to B, and it was accessible. So I spent a huge amount of time with it.
Fair enough. I mean, when I was a kid, I was the same. I didn't have much. Obviously, you don't get many games as a kid, but I did get Monster Hunter, and I think the PSP is the reason why I love cooperative play, because you could sit with your friends and do little Wi-Fi share thing with all your PSPs, and then I used to play I think I had about, as a kid, hundreds of hours on the PlayStation, on Monster Hunter Unite, I think, or Monster Hunter Freedom 2. Unbelievable games. Still now,
Yeah,
still
there was-
fantastic games, but
There is some great stuff on the PSP. There is definitely there's some great content on there. Likewise with the Vita, right? There's some great stuff that's stuck on those consoles that will never see the light. That was a time and a place.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. Any questions you'd like to elaborate on, Joel, before we move on?
No, I'm more than happy with those answers.
Well, I feel like I know you better,
Vegeta.
Joel.
Pass the
Josh.
test.
Yeah, you passed the test. I feel like we know there's loads of random questions out there, and I think it's just like it's good to just sort of like people who maybe watch your stuff have never asked you what your favorite anime is. Now they know. Now they know that you prefer his Christmas. Now he knows he loves summer more than winter. You know, these are the questions you want to know. You want to ask.
And more
Josh.
importantly, we know that his favorite character is Vegeta,
Yeah, exactly.
and that's all that matters.
And
That's it is all that matters.
there's always one. Like I say, there's always. We've done this with 3 people now, and twice it's been a very predominant answer. Yours being Crash Bandicoot for everything, and last week or last time we had Nathan on, and Nathan said Metal Gear Solid for pretty much everything. Metal Gear Solid 2 for everything. So what's your favorite game? Metal Gear Solid 2. What's your favorite food? Metal Gear Solid 2. That was just how it went. Just shows that some people have games that make such an impression on them that they want to tell everybody about them.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's a great segue for the next topic.
Yeah,
by the way.
on the heartstrings, we're going to talk about our topic of the day. Well, is it the topic of the day? It's a topic that we're going to talk about, which is most emotional story beats in a game. So what we're going to do is we're going to pass the book round. Josh has been given homework for this one. I hope he's done it. We'll find out. And I will be putting spoiler warnings in if there's certain games you don't want to hear about. So what we're going to do is we're going to pass the book, pass the screwdriver of truth around.
I wonder why you have a screw.
Because my chair's broken, and my chair every half an hour the arm falls off and I have to re-screw it on. It's really, really frustrating. And
I thought you were gonna say the legs were broken. It just falls apart every half hour or so.
Yeah, I've got to keep it together. Do you know what? To be fair, it could fall apart at any moment. I'm not too sure. So
I think Lewis hasn't actually sat on that chair. He's just squatting at this point.
I'm stood up.
There's no chair. It's just green screened in now.
Yeah, exactly.
And on that note, if you want to support Lewis and helping him get another chair, he has a Patreon set up. You can sign up to his Patreon. Link in the description down below if you want to help support the channel and help Lewis get better equipment. Go and do it. What are you doing? Go and do it, guys. Come on.
Josh is one hell of a pro. We were saying this before we started, weren't we, Joel?
Yeah.
He's a pro. He's a YouTube pro. What can we say? So what we'll do is what I ask of my game, we'll set a structure because we don't want to have people's games' lives ruined. What we'll do is we'll pass the book round and we'll ask you to say a game, and then from there we'll then invite you to explain your emotional part of a game that you've experienced, and then we'll say if you can keep it spoiler free, you can. If you can't, you can't. So
if it's a game I haven't played, I've been given the go ahead to take my headphones off. And smile at the camera.
And juggle was part of the rule as well.
Juggle.
Yeah.
Oh, and also agree to everything we say, although you
just nod.
Yeah. So anyway, Joel, I'll offer it to you. What was your first emotional gaming beat?
Oh, the first. Okay, so let's go for like probably the first emotional one. That was when I was a kid. Was probably Final Fantasy X.
Okay, I don't mind having that spoiled, but obviously. I just Final Fantasy.
Wow.
What a way to undermine your co-host there as well, hey? It's just like, all right, you can talk about your trash game. I don't care. That's fine.
Now I don't want to spoil it, so let's move on.
That was clearly just sometimes I just say things and I feel like I should have said that. I like Final Fantasy, but I feel like games that are that old, you can I don't mind them having them spoiled.
Well, for people who have hearts and for people who, respect others, spoilers incoming. Okay. Right. So at the end, like you play with this character, Tidus. You can change it, like as the first character, you can change the name to. Obviously, I changed it to my own name because I want it to be blonde and buff and cool. So you play this whole game with this character, and the whole story is you kind of get like transferred to this other world, and there's this big entity which is called Sin. And the main objective is to kill Sin. You fall in love with Yuna, which is like the main protagonist, like your wifey of the game. And you find out that to kill Sin, like Yuna, which is a summoner, has to sacrifice herself so she'll die. And then they go through this whole thing. They manage to get around that so Yuna doesn't die. You finish the game, and it ends up that the main character is a dream. And the only reason he's there is because Sin, or the Faith, which is like this other entity, was dreaming. And so when you kill Sin, like the Faith awakens, they wake up, there's no more dream, and so Tidus disappears. That was like a
Blimey.
slap in the... Keep in mind, this is like a good 100 and plus hour game, the story. And it's just like a... Get ready for life, kid. This is what it's going to be like. That was the first like heartbreak for me. And like the game does it so well to make you love Tidus as well. He's such a likable character because he's like 17 years old or something in the game. So when you play as a kid, you kind of relate to him in a lot of things. Like he's got like he's got like daddy issues and stuff. So you kind of relate to the character. And in the end, they kind of slap you in the face and they just make him
dreams
not real, which.
That was such like a storyline of its time. Like when people were like, oh, it was all a dream.
Yeah, it was.
Have you played that game before, Josh?
This must be part 2, right? Because I don't remember that ending.
there is a part 2. I think a lot of the fans had like a lot of hate because of that, and so they made a part 2. It's called Final Fantasy X-2. And I didn't play it because I wasn't really interested because it was like
you hated it, yeah.
Jules writing, Jules like protesting to get it shut down.
I was, but apparently they managed to bring Tidus back.
So it didn't matter.
It didn't matter. Yeah,
I hate when they do that. I hate when they go back in their powerful decisions.
Yeah,
it happened, but also I see why they do it as well. To be fair,
the next one.
Hold on, we'll go one at a time. Come on, Joel. Go on.
Oh, well, I thought I was going to say all mine since, you gave me the slap in the face.
The floor's gone. You had the floor temporarily. Now the floor's going to be moved. The screwdriver of truth is being moved to Josh now.
This is not what I signed up for.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay. Well, I was gonna say Friday the 13th when I thought I was tracking my kills with Jason, and I thought I'd measured out that I'd got 1,000 kills with Jason, and then I lost count. And what do you do when you lose count? What happens then? You're just killing people. I don't know if I've got 900. I don't know if I've got 800. I don't know what's happening.
Did you do it? Or did you get the trophy or whatever for the 1,000 kills or not?
Oh yeah, but I thought I was like, oh yeah, there we go. This should be it. And then turns out I need another 100 kills because I can't count, I suppose.
That is soul destroying, to be fair.
That is
very emotional. It's very emotional. My actual I've got a couple that I prepared earlier. Going off from Joel's one, I should say, is the Klonoa, your daughter Phantomile. Are you familiar with this PS1 game? No. Oh well, then why?
No, please explain.
I may as well not bother.
No, come on,
I may as well.
Please,
I don't know why I'm
please.
even here anymore. I don't know what's happening.
You're just too old school. It's your problem.
So Klonoa, Daughter Phantomile is a platformer game from the PlayStation 1 era. It got remastered, I think, for the Wii. They made a sequel to it on the PS2. It's this really sort of cute mascot platform. You play as this little guy with his little friend who's like in a ring and uses the ring to shoot things, and then he uses ears. He's got these bunny ear type things that he uses to fly. And we progressed this whole game, and you and your little buddy, I think his name, the main guy's called Klonoa. His little buddy, I think, is called like Poyo or something. I haven't played it in a while. And they're best friends. So these cutscenes exploring their friendship and this whole life that they've lived together. They've grown up and lived this whole life together. And you go through this whole process through to the end of the game when it flips itself and it reveals that this guy that you thought was your friend wasn't your friend, and your entire friendship never existed. And Klonoa was taken from another dimension that's unrelated to this one to save this dimension or something. It's all like made up. Like he got brought to Phantomile. He got this entire thing implanted in his brain. And I think he saves the day, defeats the bad guy, and then he gets sucked back to his own dimension. And then the credits roll.
Wow.
And this guy has just had his entire life, his family, his best friend ripped apart and ripped away from him. And this is a very cartoony kids game that I played when I was 9 years old.
Wow. Welcome to the real world, kid.
Very full-on story. Yeah. Very, very full-on story. I haven't played it in a few years, so I'm sure there's someone in your comment section being like, well, actually, that's not how it went down. But I tend to just delete those guys, so you can do that if you want.
Create your narrative.
The game is amazing, And that ending is a gut punch. It's pretty incredible. It's not what you'd expect coming from a game like that at all. And it definitely goes left field. I recommend you guys look it up. It's an interesting like little thing. There'll be lots of YouTube videos on it because it's a good, interesting thing to make a video about. So,
I mean, I'll have to learn how to spell it first. I mean, that'll be the first real struggle.
So that's with a Klonoa, maybe?
Don't we eat quinoa?
Not quinoa, but I do eat quinoa as well.
Okay, is that how you say it? Quinoa. All my life I've been pronouncing it quinoa.
Well,
Can I have some quinoa? This is probably why the ladies like behind the counter like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Who are you? Get out.
This is why they call the police.
Why? Yeah. Why am I here? What am I doing?
Why is some guy intimidating me?
What is this?
Okay, well, I'll pass the book on to myself.
Oh, yes.
Oh, sorry. I'll pass it on
Thank you.
to... Yeah, there you go.
Mine is going to be talking about Gears of War 3, which is an Xbox game. And I love being controversial on this podcast. You know, I love talking about Xbox on this PlayStation podcast, because why not? Have either of you played Gears of War 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you played... Joel, you don't care about Gears of War 3. We've had this discussion before.
Yeah.
So, spoilers for Gears of War 3, if you haven't played it. Came out 2008.
You haven't played Gears of War 3?
Yeah, I know.
Wow, okay.
I played Gears of War 2. And
Probably
then
the worst,
my Xbox.
the worst of the trilogy, I would have said Gears of War 2. But still a great game, but worst of the trilogy. The first one sets up the world really well. The second one's kind of like... to be fair, there's some powerful moments in Gears 2, with Dom's wife and stuff.
I don't remember a lot of it. I think I played like the multiplayer more than anything
multiplayer
else.
The
Horde mode. They invented Horde mode.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
like
mode.
Props to them for that. Like, yeah, it was they polished the third-person shooter as well, didn't they? Like, because of the Gears of War
Cover shooter.
Yeah, the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 were just covered with cover shooters all the time. Because of them, it was great. I love that game. Gears was probably one of my favorite trilogies of all time, and I guess 4 was okay. It wasn't as good, but it was okay.
You love Judgment as well. Remember, you're telling me that off before we started.
Judgment is my favorite. I've got tattoos of Judgment on my.
I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
And but in it, so the spoilers coming now, is that at one part, so you have this character called Dom, who was like Marcus's best friend, and he's in all the games. He's the person you play as player 2, and there's a part where basically they're getting swarmed by the new infected, and then Dom sacrifices himself to so all of them can escape. And I remember when I must have been about 15 maybe around then. No, yeah, about 15. And I think like that was the first time I played a game where I was like, holy shit, this is like right in the feels. I remember being like, the main character is gone, and it's not like the end of the game or anything. It's like 2/3 of the way through the game, so it's like he sacrificed himself so they can continue to finish the whatever they're doing, which is obviously saving the world because it's a video game. But it was like, I remember just feeling like that was like, for me, it's one of my most memorable moments of gaming of all time, and I've just been like, wow. I don't think anything's really, a few things here and there have topped it, but I think for me that was, it's still in my brain like 10 years later. So it's kind of says how powerful it can be.
Did you cry?
I don't remember, but I don't remember, to be honest.
You just don't want to say, do you?
But I cry. I'm not afraid to say I cried at a really great TV show, but I don't remember if I did. I might have. I mean, I watched Time Traveler's Wife last week, and I was like holding back tears the whole time. It's so sad. Why can't they just be together? But anyways, what are your thoughts on that, Josh? On Dom passing?
I think it was a story beat, right? It was it's been a long time since I played this game, so I'm just trying to remember the context of how that like all wrapped up. It was necessary, I think, to progress that story forward to get you ready for that ending as well, though, right? Which is kind of what Gears 4 did to undermine sort of everything that Gears 3 sacrificed in defeating that and winning the war, right? Which was because that's what it was. It was a war. People die in the war to help you get to that outcome. And I think the new trilogy kind of, I don't know. It sort of undermines everything that 2 and 3 sort of did. I think to a degree. Yeah,
a lot of characters die, and you think, well, you know, they're sort of supposed to be saving the world, then 10 years later, it's just back again, and it's like, right, okay,
it's just the same thing
it's
again.
The same thing happening. It's like, right, well, what is the point? They're just fighting for survival, aren't they? Pretty much. If it's never going to change, it's like that's just their life. That's all what they're going to have to do. Just fight, which kind of does devalue the fight for peace and freedom and stuff. But yeah, I think you're right there, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you probably have time for one more from both of you. So there you go, my friend.
Thanks, Dad.
How many? One more?
Yeah, one more each. and then
otherwise he's turning the car around. We're not going to get to
exactly.
the holiday like you promised.
Let me see. So, has anybody here played Red Dead Redemption 2?
I've 2 or 1.
Either.
I played the first one.
Yeah. Okay.
I played the second one.
I'll choose. Everybody played Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Okay. Mine's going to be Spider-Man. It's probably Ghost of Tsushima's there, but I know Lewis hasn't played it, so I don't.
I don't want that spoiled.
It's quite a recent game as well, so I'm guessing like some people may not have played it, so I'll leave that one. So Marvel Spider-Man.
Most people play Marvel Spider-Man. It's like the most platinum game of all time. So
if not, then
I'll skip through it. But I'll put a timestamp in. You can skip past it if you don't want to have it spoiled.
That Aunt May scene was just heartbreaking. Because you put yourself in his shoes, and on one hand, he has this woman who raised him after 1, his parents died, 2, his uncle died. Always been there for him, always there. It's his support when he's broken up, when he needs somewhere to stay. She's always there for him. And then on the other hand, you have the whole of Manhattan. And it's such a hard choice. And it's just the way the things plan out as well. When she turns around and said, I want to see my nephew. And she knew all along that he was Spider-Man, and it's just everything together, and it's just the acting, the voice acting, just everything. The whole scene was just the bit where he's holding the syringe and he's almost injecting to save her, and then his superhero side takes over, and he's like, I can't, 'cause it's not the right thing to do, and it's just it just crushes your heart, it crushes everything, and it's just so well done. I think it's probably one of the endings that's going to stick with me for a long time.
Yeah, I think as a diehard Spider-Man fan, I think that scene shows why Spider-Man is one of the best superheroes of all time, and the fact that it's the cliche saying, but with great power comes with great responsibility. He has the power to save millions of people, and it just shows that in the face of having his only person he has around from his only parent, his only family member left. He's prepared. He doesn't want to, but he knows that he has to let her die to save millions of people. And I think that is why Spider-Man's such a powerful character, that he can make the hardest decision. That is the hardest decision you would ever have to make. To let your family member die to save millions of people you don't know, and never get credit for it as well. Like it's powerful. I think it's amazing. In fact, I think it's really good.
It's just because he had the choice as well.
Yeah.
Because like with Gwen Stacy, for example, it's obviously it's a horrible death, but it was something like, it's bad because he failed. He's always going to have that. He's failed to save her, but he didn't have a choice. It was something that happened whilst trying to save her. With Aunt May, he had the choice. Like if he would have made the other choice, she would have been alive. But then, thousands and thousands of people would have died. I also think, to add on that, I also think that they should have actually added that in the game as a choice, so you have 2 alternate endings.
Oh, really?
And just
wouldn't that have just
I think that would have been, because that would have put yourself in Spider-Man's shoes. That would have been. I think it would have been a bit of a good twist to have.
Nah, I think no, because I just think it's not your choice, because you're not Spider-Man at the end of the day. Like this character, but you're not. It's so defined. It's like if you disagree with that, then I think then you're not Spider. You're not understand what it is to be Spider-Man. So if you be given that choice and then to choose to save your Aunt May, then you don't align with Spider-Man, in my opinion. Like he part of his character is being prepared. With great power comes great responsibility. And I think, like for example, in other games, like certain games about zombie apocalypses where someone could be killed or made a virus of and then save millions of lives. Characters then choose to do the exact opposite of that. And I think like that's what makes being a superhero. I think that's what makes Spider-Man Spider-Man. So I would have been. I mean, I wouldn't have picked that. I would never have picked Aunt May.
No, but that's the thing. Like, because you'd have there's like in every game that has alternate endings, there's always the canon ending, which is the real ending, and then you've got like the alternate ones, which is just to see what happens.
Just what if?
And I think that would have been interesting because, I mean, you say you're not Spider-Man, but technically throughout the whole game, you are Spider-Man. You're playing as Spider-Man. It's interesting to see the amount of people, what they would do in Spider-Man's shoes, if they would choose the greater good or if they'd be selfish and choose the one they love.
What do you think of that, Josh?
I think I sort of align. I'm sorry, Joel. I think I align a little bit more with Lewis on it, because I think they're telling a story of they're telling Spider-Man's story at the end of the day. It's not necessarily the player's story. So that's where I come down on that angle. But I think what I really liked about that ending, or what I really liked about Spider-Man as a whole, is that despite those stakes being big, they were reasonable stakes for Spider-Man to handle on his own, which I thought was nice. It's not, and this is one of the things I have a problem with DC, is that DC's plot is always the end of the freaking universe, or the end of the world. It's not a plot that, like, hey, why is Batman dealing with this? Why is Superman not coming in here and helping him deal with this? Because this is a problem, but this was something that Spider-Man could handle. It's realistic that the Avengers wouldn't have come in, right? Yeah. It's realistic that Spider-Man could deal with it, and we didn't need the entire Avengers to assemble to fix this problem. Well, it is big stakes. I think that's what I like about these standalone superhero stories, is when there is an element of realism. I hate sitting there thinking, like, why is this guy not helping this guy if they're here? Like, why is he not, like, if Manhattan's going to explode, why is so-and-so not coming in? But I think the way that it was set up in this game in particular, they did a really good job of empowering Spider-Man to be able to manage his own city and handle the situation that he was put in, despite it not seeming that way.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's really interesting, because I agree with that, because I recently watched Aquaman. No spoilers, but obviously Superman is alive. I've given a spoiler, I suppose. If you watch Justice League, the Justice
literally just spoiled Justice.
I'm not going to give spoilers, but Superman's alive.
But anyway, my whole point was the Justice League are all out and they're all operational, so it's kind of like Aquaman has this big threat now. I'm now watching thinking it's a really good film, but like, why doesn't Justice League just rock up and just help? Because they clearly could and they clearly need to. And I kind of get what you're saying, Buck. I tried not to spoil anything. Now I'm just spoiling, everything. So this is how we're doing this podcast. Just spoilers everywhere. It's a minefield.
It's like in Dragon Ball Z. When Cell sets the Cell games, the entire Z Warriors are all there to help. They're all there to pitch in, because Cell's going to destroy the whole planet if they're not there. So what's the point in Tien being off in the mountains training if the planet's going to be destroyed? It's got to get here. It's got to get involved. It's got to help out.
I mean, let's be honest though. Like, at that point, like, Tien being up in the mountains or helping to kill Cell, would it really have made a difference? Because he
showed face. It was important that he turned up. Yeah. He turned up on the day.
He turned up because he knew. He turned up because I think he knew, like, if this world's going to end, like, here's going to be like ground zero. This is going to be like the quickest death. Like, it's going to be quick. Up in the mountains, I may like suffer a bit and just like see it coming. Here, it's just going to be boom, done.
Yeah,
his thought process. He wanted to be as close to Goku as possible. He wanted to make sure that Goku always fixes this. Like, we gotta stick with Goku on this one. I'm sure that he'll get us out of this one.
Did Tien not have the sensu beans though? Because that's essential if he had them.
Goku had already given them to Cell.
Oh yeah, he gives Cell them, doesn't he? Yeah.
I'm gonna give you my 12-year-old kid to fight you, but here's a Zenzu bean. You're gonna need it.
Don't
parenting.
He did. To be fair, he did need it.
Yeah, that's true. So... that's true, to be fair. But still, that's real overconfidence, that, isn't it, though?
Yeah,
ridiculous amount of overconfidence. Like, I know you're about killing my child, but just make sure it's a fair fight. Yeah. Have a little break. Yeah. But they're all like dead. They're all like half of them are dead, and they're like exhausted. Like, if only we had a sense of being. Well, got last one here, guys. Cell. Thanks.
There you go.
Exactly. Goku doesn't make the best parental decisions. I think that's pretty fair.
I just think Goku just doesn't make the best decisions just in general.
No, he doesn't.
Like, he just.
Not if you watch Super and you've seen some of the stuff he does in that. It's he's making some very questionable choices left, right, and center in that series.
It's one of the things. We're going like way off topic here, but I just want to say it's one of the things I don't like about Super is how stupid they made Goku. Like, Goku was always a bit of an idiot, but he was never to the extent that they make him in Super, I think.
Like, where he's like, can we hold a tournament with every universe ever? And just so I can fight a stronger person than the persons I know now.
And if I lose, everyone dies.
Yeah, the entire universe dies. Goku. Oh, right. Okay,
let's
do that. Yeah. Sounds good.
Sounds good. On that, I think we'll wrap up that section, because I think we're getting on for time. So we'll move on to our Q&A section. So our Q&A section is where we extend our invitation to people who want to ask questions, and we will answer them every episode, because we did a Q&A last week and everyone really enjoyed it. So we've got a few questions here from a few of my patrons, which I'm gonna fire for us all. So the first question comes from I Envy Goonie, which is a great name, and If you could live in a world of a video game, what would it be? I've already got an idea, so I'm going to fire mine. Skyrim.
Fire.
Skyrim.
Oh,
If I lived in Skyrim, I could like cast magic. I could like be a Nord. I could be an elf. I could do everything. The world would be my oyster if I lived in Skyrim. So that's why I feel like Skyrim would be cool. I mean, yeah, it's not the safest of places, but it's definitely not the most dangerous of places. Yeah, there's a few bandits, a few spiders, a few dragons kicking about, but you know, I'll just join like the companions become a werewolf.
There's a big like I'm thinking like just you're just some random dude. You're just a peasant in this world, or
you're the guy
are you the hero of this world? That separates my choice.
It's for you to decide.
You decide.
That's for you to decide it. If you
that's easy.
No, like you can't. I mean, like you get there, and if you want to be the hero, you be the hero. I'm not telling you. I'll be the Dragonborn of Skyrim. I'm saying just like because in Skyrim, anybody can join the College of Winterhold. Anyone can join the companions. So as long as you're good enough, practice your ears from magic and start casting spells.
Oh, there's so many questions. There's so many things in my head. This is a really tough choice.
Do you have any ideas, Josh, of where you would choose?
Most video games are just nightmares.
Horrible. Yeah.
There's always a pretty significant problem that you're coming in there to fix. So not really. Maybe
Crash Bandicoot.
I'd be Crash Bandicoot's jorts. I'd specifically be his jorts though. I think it's an important stipulation.
I don't know what a jort is, so
yeah,
it's it's the jean shorts that he wears.
Oh, it's jorts.
Jorts. I thought that was like somebody's name.
No, I thought it was
it's the only item of clothing that he wears. It just covers up his mini Bandicoot.
His mini Bandicoot, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Fair play.
I'd just like I don't know, like the world of Dragon Ball. I'd have to be a Saiyan.
Yeah, but if you're not Saiyan, the world's getting killed every 10 minutes.
What if you were in the world of Dragon Ball, but you had to be Tien?
See, that's no. I mean, I'd prefer being Tien to Yamcha. But this is the choice. This is what I mean. Like, who are we? Are we the hero? Are we,
Tien's got incredible shoulders. I mean, look at this guy.
Yeah,
he's got shoulders that I couldn't even dream of.
And he's got extra eyes, so you can see all the extra problems.
That eye's weird, man. That eye's weird. It's just no. I feel like once the Saiyans come in, I feel the humans in that whole world are just like irrelevant.
But
like
Krillin just lives. Like Tien just lives, right? He just trains. He's buff. He could probably get any girl he wants on Earth, and he's just doing his thing. He's not risking his life. He's having a great
That's true.
time.
To be fair,
gets his butt kicked all the time.
He doesn't have to fight anymore. He's not strong enough to fight. He just stands the sideline.
Kicked a few times. Does he show up in the Boo saga? I don't think he does. Right? He just turns to chocolate at some point, probably.
Yeah,
and
I think so. That's most of them. To be fair,
he kind of hides out in like Kami's lookout for a bit, and then he gets turned into chocolate.
Yeah, like between like Cell and Boo saga, he just has a good life, man. He's picking up chicks. He's getting his shoulders bigger. Between Boo and Super, this guy's got even. I think he actually gets smaller shoulders. I think.
Yeah, he does,
they go down.
They mess up the animation so much.
Does he fight in the tournament in Super?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. He's in the tournament of power.
Super's just it's a bit of a mess. They kind of messed up characters' personalities. They mess up power levels are just a joke.
Oh, he's still in.
Power levels are a joke. What's that?
I didn't think power levels were still in it. I thought we just abandoned that.
They did a good job of balancing them, though. I thought Super did a good because they added Beerus right on one side. Now Beerus is he's the limit, right? And then everything below Beerus was everything else. That was kind of how I felt. It was a nice way of like managing where Goku and Vegeta were always because they were nowhere near Beerus. Because he says like he used 5% of his power or something, and that was
but that's fair. But then they bring in Jiren. And then they bring in that stupid thing, which is like, I want to be a Super Saiyan. All I have to feel is like a tickle in my back.
That definitely does diminish the entire lineage.
And then my power level at Super Saiyan is the same level as Goku in his God form. It's like what? It's like
they did fuse. They did fuse. To be fair,
but still, it's a bit off balance. It's a bit weird.
I think
I'll give you that.
I think about Dragon Ball Z is they always build like the characters always get more and more powerful. So it does obviously the downside is it always diminishes like the previous sagas of like the level of the enemies because they always have to get bigger and stronger and stronger.
I always feel there's always somebody stronger. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There's always somebody stronger.
That's Goku's character arc, right? That's Goku as it's being able to push through and persevere. That's the moral. That's the That's
See,
that he
I
has.
would like to see an arc of
He
Vegeta
dies.
triumphing.
Do you know what as well? I want to say. Do you know what else?
Vegeta overtaking Goku. I'd love to see that.
I mean, yeah.
I'm going to sit in the TN trunk. I'm going to change my Skyrim back to Dragon Ball Z because you know what, right? You know what else you could do?
You're going to be TN.
You could go collect the Dragon Balls, okay?
Yep.
And then just wish for like anything you wanted, like immortality.
I mean,
money.
He's probably done that.
Yeah, exactly.
It might be how he fixed his shoulder problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
Like, yeah, Shenron, please make your shoulders another beefy, but just a little bit smaller. He's like, I will grant you your only wish. Thanks. And then he just does it again, and then, you know, like, the Dragon Balls make Dragon Ball Z, like, probably a pretty good world to live in, because you can always come back. It's like, oh, I'm dead, see you in 10 minutes.
Just get a wish, right? Any wish you want, ever.
Yeah, exactly.
You can only be revived once, though. That's the rule.
It's true. But they did get around that by just making another dragon.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly. Is the dragon not tied to Kami, but then he dies, and then...
The one on Earth is.
Yeah, but
then you got the dragon from Earth, you got the dragon from Namek.
Yeah, but Namek's destroyed, though.
Now it's Super.
You got that space dragon.
The space dragon with, like, who's beefy and gives you 3 wishes.
Oh, no, that's the Namek one. There's an even more space dragon.
Oh, it's a space dragon.
A bigger one. Yeah,
it's
space dragon.
It's the size of a planet or something. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's like Super gets pretty ridiculous. I think I'm looking forward to when they make the Broly movie into the series. I'm looking forward to that because the Broly movie was just top tier. It was amazing.
It was.
Final question from the Q&A is from Face Palmer. And he says, is there a PlayStation IP game, so a first-party PlayStation game you would love to see remade? Not remake. No, sorry, not remaster. Full-blown remade. Hard question. Anybody? Joel?
Yeah, I've got one. Road Rash.
Road Rash.
The motorbike game where you can beat people up. I mean, they made a similar one with like Road Redemption, but that wasn't really a remake. I want a proper remake, like where you're just riding down this road. It's 2-dimensional, and you could just beat the crap out of the other dudes. You got police chasing you and stuff. It's just one of like my childhood games, and that's the only reason why I'm selfish. I want it remade. It's easily done.
Yeah, fair play. I mean, I know you spoke about that game before. I don't know much about it, so I can't really comment on it. What about you, Josh? Any games?
Nothing's really coming to mind. I just think stop making them.
What about
in general? Just stop making games.
Stop making games.
That's probably what I'd say.
You're a big Sly fan, though, aren't you? Would you not like to see Sly Cooper return?
Nah, he can stay where he is.
The game ends
on Shadow Realm.
It ends on a cliffhanger, though. Sly 4 ends on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, we don't count that one, though.
Yeah, wow. So, are you one of those people who say Sly 4 is not a canon?
I don't really care. To be honest. He's a raccoon.
Yeah, fair enough.
He's a humanoid raccoon. There's enough problems with that whole thing going on there that that Sly can just stay in the Shadow Realm. I do love Sly. Yeah, I do love Sly. Yeah, I guess it'd be cool to see it Sly. I mean, Sly 1's still really good. The hell's up.
I like all of them. I think all 3 of them hold up quite well.
Yeah, I just think make new games. Just make new games. That's all I ask of everyone watching this. If you're a developer, if you're Sony, especially if you're Sony, make new games. Just don't make old ones.
I agree. I definitely love it when companies take risks and make new IPs because, Ghost of Tsushima was just like so well done, and it was obviously received really well. And yeah, I want new stories. I'm happy to have a new story than have 1 or 2 sequels, but I'm also happy to have a game that sort of finishes. It's a one-off story, and you play it and think I don't need any more. That was just
nice, isn't it?
Most games
don't
do that.
Isn't that a satisfying thing when someone tells a story and it has a beginning, a middle, and an end? It's got a conflict in there. There might be some romance in there, but action, and then it ends.
Yeah,
and it's done. And you can then make a coffee and move on with your life. Isn't that a good thing?
Yes, I agree. I think gaming's following a lot of the trends that movie set, though, where they're always like, bringing back all these dead franchises, or trying to reboot them, like Jurassic Park. And I mean, Jurassic Park World was okay. I'm just saying, like, and then there's like Terminator and stuff, and they're just trying just because they've already got these established names, haven't they? So they can cash in on them, which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't work.
I'm fine with games having like trilogies or whatever, but just know when to stop.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna say it again. People are going to hate me for it, but it has to be said. Assassin's Creed, it's been going on for too long. Just end it. Just finish it. You can't go forward anymore because it'll be too close to our era. And you go back anymore and you're going to be in like the caveman. What are you going to do? Like have a brick, a stone hidden blade or something?
We did that with Far Cry Primal. And it wasn't the best. It was...
Good God.
What they haven't told you yet is Watch Dogs actually is the future Assassin's Creed, and they just haven't quite linked them together yet.
Haven't linked
but
them
actually,
together.
it is Assassin's Creed.
And then the Division is the post of Watch Dogs. So Division's like
Watch
100
Dogs.
years later.
Probably
And then
at this point.
Yeah.
Far Cry is just like Far Cry is probably just like the little characters in between all this happening.
Maybe so. Well, on a more happier note, I would like to see certain things. I mean, I think I did like Jak and Daxter a lot. I didn't like Jak 1 that much. It was okay because it was very much like Spyro, essentially, like a collectathon. But Jak 2 and 3 I enjoyed a lot. And I think it would be cool to see like some sort of like sequel or something, or some sort of spin-off or something could have been cool. Maybe, I don't know if it would exactly hold up in today's climate of gaming, but I think it holds a special place in my heart, and I think seeing like a Jak 2 remake, not a remaster, would be pretty cool. Or just, I think I'd prefer a sequel. I think I would definitely prefer a sequel. Or there was a spin-off game called Daxter, which was on the PSP only. It was set between Jak Daxter and Jak 2. And basically it's about how Jak gets captured and then Daxter frees him at the very, very beginning of Jak 2, and it's sort of about how he frees Jak. And I think, again, that's like a little open world game where you just play as Daxter. I think that'd be really cool to see remade and definitely like rebuilt. Like Final Fantasy VII was, the remake was extended phenomenally. Like, you know, it's only set in the first like half of the game, isn't it? And they've shown how like they've taken the idea and they've done everything. It's just like Resident Evil 2. They've rebuilt it up to such a level where it's like it's the same story, but that's really it. And I think, you know, now they could be taking these PS2, PS3 games and turning them into new, different games, essentially.
I'd like to see Devil May Cry 3 remade into like the Devil May Cry 5 graphics. That would be mind blowing.
Yeah, I agree. Is Devil May Cry 3 the best one of the trilogy? Because one of them people didn't like, isn't there? Is it the second one that wasn't received as well?
Second one's that's awful. Devil May Cry 3 for me personally is the best one in the whole series. Devil May Cry 5 is close second. But DMC3 was just 4.
I love 4.
I didn't like 4.
I
think I like Nero in 5 because he's so different to Dante. I think in 4 they made him too similar to Dante.
Yeah,
and it just felt like a rewrite of the same character, just younger. That's the only reason why. Nero in 5, I love him because he's different. Like his facial features are different, his style's different. In 4, he was just the same. He had like the same long jacket. It was just blue and not red. The hairstyle was the same.
True.
That was the only thing that put me off. I still like 4, just not as much as 3 and 5. 4 was probably a close third.
4 was my first one. See, that's why I liked it so much. And I think, and that's probably why I like Nero though, because he obviously was similar to Dante in the first 3 games. So like people loved Dante in the first 3 games, and I love Nero because he was like Dante essentially. You know, that like sort of like, I mean, he's a bit more angry than Dante. I get
Dante's just arrogant.
Yeah, whereas Dante,
arrogant, he's jokey, like he doesn't take his opponents seriously, and that's on 3. They portray him really well because he's an arrogant kid. Like he sees his big opponent, he's just like, yeah, dude, shut up, you got nothing.
Because 3 is the prequel, right? It's set before the first one, isn't it?
Yeah.
When he's like in the pizza shop, or there's something pizza happening at the beginning of the game, right?
Yeah.
Pizza time.
None of those are as good as DMC though, right? I mean, we can all agree on that.
Savage. I think everyone's disliked it.
I don't mind. I don't mind. I'll be honest. I don't mind DMC. I just don't think they should have really made fun of the original. Yeah, of the hair. I think that was
important though, didn't they? They need
below the belt, that one.
This question, the question that your viewer asked was, which game do we want to see remade, right, or redone? I mean, they did that with Devil May Cry. They rebooted the franchise, and no one liked it.
That's true.
They started it again. They created new lore. They took stuff from the old. They made the new. No one liked it. And the gameplay was superb. Yeah, but no one liked the direction.
Yeah. That's the risk, isn't it? It's like if you go too far from the source material, people are going to hate it. So it's like, why risk it? Why risk being different?
I'll be honest. Like I didn't even mind the story. I like the limbo. Like I prefer the limbo part of things rather than having demons in our world. The limbo part of things seems a bit more believable to be happening in our world than demons just invading. It's just Dante was just a bit too much of an anarchist rather than just an arrogant kid.
He just loved it.
He was a product of his time. 2013, huh?
Yeah.
Dangerous times.
Yeah. What a year that was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Better than 2020, anyway.
I mean, probably in many, many ways.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, on that, I think what we'll do is we will wrap up the podcast. So, Josh, do you have any final thoughts? Anything you'd like to say? Firstly, from me and Joel, thank you very much for coming on. We appreciate your time.
100%.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it, guys.
It's been fun to chat.
Yeah. I mean, that check, because you didn't really agree with me with Spider-Man, I don't think I can see it, but I'll get it to you at some point.
Yeah, I'll get. Yeah, your people can talk to my people. We'll figure something out, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, my people are as my dog, so just talk to him.
My people are.
He's very friendly, unless you come in the back door, then he can be a little bit barky. Or if you come in the garden, doesn't like that either.
Yeah.
But other than that, he's a swell bloke.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anything to say on your final things to say, Josh? Any final closing statements? Perfect. Yeah, we'll take that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's enough of that.
Thank you very much for watching, everybody. I really appreciate the time. I will link Josh's channel down below. Go check him out, just as Jules is, as always. And thanks for watching. Take it easy.
Bye-bye.
Great wave.